What up? What up, world? How y'all feeling? Um, this is episode. What is this? What we on? Episode, I think 3 or 4 on the season, the new season, something like that. I can't really remember now. This is episode whatever. Season 2, No Fiction Podcast. I'm here with my man Vontae. How you feeling, bro?
Good man.
What's up? Casey ain't finna be here. He got some shit going on, so um, he's off doing whatever that is. But just still wanted to meet up, make sure check on your week, check on let them know what's going on with me and jump in this up, man, because people need to hear from us. What you got going on?
Nothing much, man. Just getting ready for another week of work.
Oh man. I try
Yeah,
not to
that's it.
think about tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, that's usually what my Sundays I usually are just getting ready
Yeah.
for work.
Yo, someone told me once to work the hardest on Mondays because it's the beginning of the week and like sets the tone for the rest of the week. You know what I'm saying? How would you feel about that? I feel like that's kind of true. It, but I don't know. I don't know exactly, to be honest.
I probably don't agree with that. Usually Mondays are the slow days.
I think
I don't
that
agree with that one. But it's
yeah,
all good though.
yeah. It's all good, man. I'm grateful to be working, man, especially with the jungle and all. People getting laid off, folks ain't got jobs. Yo, like if
Right.
we had jumped into entrepreneur jump, um, that would have been real tough. Like I don't know how people are getting through that didn't have no job at all, like no structured employee, you know what I'm saying? Or employer.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, so it's crazy how things just in a switch. It was almost a year ago. It's going on a year,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been
crazy.
crazy.
Right. There's a there's a lot of people who are working though, and I'm one of them. So I'm grateful, man. There's a we had a couple of checks, although I'm still waiting on the stimmy for from Biden, who was talking about that's why I hate politics, bro. I like straight up, like he was talking mad shit. You remember when Trump wasn't sending the joints out? Oh man,
Right.
y'all need some money. Y'all need some money. I'll give y'all money. Whoa, whoa, bro. My man's been in there for a grip. He
You know
got
how they
it.
be. They be trying to make themselves look good, man. Until
Yeah,
until when they actually get their spot, then you see how it really is.
yeah, man. It's crazy because we fall for it every time. I kind of got kind of wise to it a while ago, but these last couple years, bro. Like I was in the joint when Trump got elected, but this time right after that, I feel like the world got mad political, bro. Like everybody was like, "Go vote on, make your voice be heard," and all this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was hard. It was hard to not be involved in that, man.
yeah. This past time was the first time I voted in a long time.
Yeah,
I don't even know what made me vote, but I just said, forget it. They was sending
yeah,
them joints in the mail, so I was like, whatever. Let me go ahead
right.
and do this vote. It ain't gonna really, count because I don't think our votes really count. I just think whoever they want in the office, that's who they put in the office. So it's all an agenda to me. But
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. I voted, did all that. Took a picture with the little sticker on it saying, I voted and jumped.
Mm-hmm.
Sent it out to all the, people, all my peoples and stuff. So
Right.
yeah, I did it.
That's what's up, man. I don't consider myself political, but I voted too, and I think that there's a lot. So I'm kind of split. So I post something a while ago, um, and I don't feel like I think a lot of people are cowards, bro. A lot of people didn't want to deal with it, and I think that it's funny because the way people talk so loud, everybody talks in all caps when it comes to something they love, but when you question it, you realize that their knowledge is limited. So you find out pretty quick that just because you loud about something don't mean shit. And so what I asked people was um I called it voting anxiety, which is I just named it that because that's what I felt. But you get two sides, you get two choices. Either you vote and you help fuck up the world, with whoever you just force in there. Because they only give us, well, there's a lot. What another thing is, there's a whole list of people you can vote for, but they only talk about Democrats, Republicans.
Right.
So that's the one yoki doke that we need to fix. That ain't nobody talking about. But you either vote for the Democrats or Republicans to help fuck up the world, or you don't vote, and then the whole world is like, well, you can't say shit. You can't say shit. You ain't got no say. You ain't got no say. It's like that's cat because first off, I wasn't even given the opportunity to express how I feel about the people y'all making me choose from. Y'all just give me this list and I gotta pick somebody. And if I don't pick somebody, y'all in my ass. So I don't feel
Right.
like it's even cool how it's still like this. And I think we forget too, because it's so crazy how every 4 years they're like, oh vote, oh vote, oh vote, 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 vote. But in the middle, like between that time and the next time we got to vote again, don't nobody say shit about nothing, bro. Like no one discusses it whatsoever. And then when Trump was in the office doing whatever he was doing, did nobody even care? Like they all this impeach this, impeach that. That don't mean nothing now. Like
Right.
I thought impeachment, bro, was when you um get kicked out of the White House. Like you ain't the president anymore. If you get impeached, you get impeached. That motherfucker got
Right.
impeached
Right.
twice.
Yeah, I never heard somebody get impeached twice.
Yeah,
That
like
was a new one to me.
right. They play this. I mean, it's all a mess, bro. And I think that this country is it needs some work. I think when you there's some strength that comes with growing and building something, and when you stole it, there is no building. You just took it from somebody else. So then you try to run some shit you don't know nothing about, you didn't have no involvement in, besides just telling people what to do. And I think that's why we kind of in the okie doke we in now. But what you feel about this? I think people is smarting up. Don't you feel like people kind of getting a little bit more like non-tolerant, intolerant, or whatever about what's going on?
No, I just think that you know, people really don't, care too
Okay.
much. I don't think people be doing, too much research on who they voting for. They just, vote for whoever. That's what I mostly feel about it.
I feel like it's I feel like yeah, you're right. I think I've talked to some people and I think some people vote for just who their gang is, like either Democrats
Yeah.
or Republicans. They don't care who it is. They just want their side to win.
All right. It's whoever's getting the most shine on TV, whoever you see, on the TV more, that's, who's ever more popular.
Mhm.
That's who most people vote for. And this year was Biden, you know, Biden and that one chick, his little vice president chick, I don't even know her name. But
Uh, Kamala, Kamala
yeah,
Harris.
they was getting the most, they was getting the most shine. So, we already know what to expect from Trump.
Right,
So
right.
they was more popular. So I think that's who everybody was swaying more to. And I don't really think nobody even knew about them. That's what I'm
Mm.
saying. It's like people usually do their research about anybody. They just, see who's ever popping. That's who they go with.
It's interesting. That's I never thought about it like that. That's when you look back, that actually makes sense. Like when you kind of look back at least the last few that I can think of, because I when I came up, it was the first president I for real remember was Clinton, and people loved my man. It's like I
I
was
don't
too
know
young to
why, man.
understand. Yeah, I don't know
I
why.
don't know
I
why.
mean, I don't know.
I think a lot of people liked him was because that one chick that gave him some head in the office or something like that.
Monica. So that was I think the second term though, if I'm not mistaken. I could
Yeah.
be wrong. 'Cause I don't think he had to go through a re-election after that. Yeah, so that was
Mm.
probably his second term. 'Cause I remember that happening. He had already been president.
Yeah, but
So
seem to forget that he did the little three strike rule.
oh
He did
word.
three. Yeah, he did the little three strike rule. I think three felonies and you doing life. A lot of cats
Wow.
doing life. Yeah, a lot of dudes doing life because of dudes. So people tend to forget about that. They just look at him getting head in the office and all that junk, but forget like he did the little three strike rule.
That's good to know. Yeah, see that's I can't
Yeah.
cap. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. But I
Yeah,
I, I
man.
heard about that.
Yeah, it was him. It was him.
Crazy. Man, it's you know what I'm saying? Like what I think too, this is crazy too. Okay. This is really don't this is what really don't make no sense to me. If somebody is not the president no more, then how are they rules still in effect? And how come the first thing you ain't doing is going in and changing what they had done? Like that's to me, it's like almost you agree with it if you just let it slide and you in charge officially now.
Mhm.
That's what I don't like. It's like okay, like that means to me, like okay, Clinton did it, but if it's still the case right now, then it's Biden's fault, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, that's where we live in, man.
That's true, man. You know, I was talking to I got a friend in Brazil who I was talking to, and she was telling me how you know how our election took like a while. I can't remember how even long now. It was a grip. She
It was a
said,
while.
yeah, she said over there they do they vote and they know by like 9 p.m. that night who the president or who is going to be in charge. I don't know if it's president or not over there, but who's going to be in charge over there by that night, bro.
That's different. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's crazy. And you did something else she told me, right? Speaking of people in prison and all that, she told me that with some cases, not every single person, but some cases, they actually let some of the criminals come out of jail and go home for the holidays, bro.
They got to be some real good inmates to get that privilege, man.
Bruh, she told me well, I thought so too. Like I'm thinking traffic tickets, I'm thinking some shit like that, right? This is no cap. This is what she told me, right? She told me that somebody killed their mom, got locked up for it, and then they let them go home for Mother's Day to celebrate Mother's Day.
Wow.
I yeah, bro. I was like, what the
Wow.
fuck? Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Because things different, in them foreign countries, man. They
Yeah.
got they got different rules and different everything over there. So
Would you
that don't
would you
surprise me, man.
right. Oh yeah, bro. It surprised the hell out of me because it was so egregious. Like, could you imagine getting locked up and be like, all right, it's Christmas, time to go. But they trust them to come back. It's not like they're not getting followed around by the police. Ain't nobody got no surveillance. It's like you go home and we trust you to come back to jail to finish your sentence. Bro,
He must have been a good inmate. That's the only I think way that you can get something like that. You got to be really doing real good, right?
I don't know. I just can't believe it's a possibility, bro. Like it really blew my mind, man. It's crazy how it's so different. Like you said, it's so different in other places. Would you have you ever thought about moving somewhere else? Like a different
Yeah.
country?
Oh, not a different country, different city, but not a different country.
Or
That's a little extra.
yeah, I think I gave it some thought because we talk about how America's so bad and all this crazy stuff, but we really don't have an idea of what's going on. Or at least let me speak for me. I don't really have an idea of what's going on anywhere else. Like all the shit in England with the Queen and all that, like that's for real over there. Like that's not just a president. It's different. Like she is in charge, bro. And it's odd to me because I just ain't never had I ain't never lived in that world. Um,
Right.
and there's certain shit you can't say in places um like even now, we'll be and you having this podcast, we talk about America this, America that, bro. There's some places that literally I could post this online and literally get arrested, bro. Like there'll be police on my door, like you just said this about the country, you going to jail.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Which
it's
is
uh, it's crazy.
yeah, this is a different world, man. So I mean, people talk about America being free, and I think that's what they mean. There's still consequences for your actions. You can be socially reprimanded. I think a lot of people that's kind of the new shit with the canceling
Right.
people or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's probably
Yeah.
the extent. And that's only gonna last for a month. So it's not even that probably. So
Yeah,
but
they'll let you stand up and speak your mind for a little bit, but if you start getting a little too deep and start knowing a little too much, that's when they shut you down.
yeah, it's crazy. We were talking about I think last week we brought up Judas in the or no, I was talking to Nick. Have you seen it? Judas in the Black Messiah.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro, that was crazy, bro.
it's a big
And
movie, man.
I'm just trying to bring that up every week, but still, it was like when I see what I went down, I was like, yo, like they really, and this was all legal stuff, bro. Like this was like literally people who you should be calling when something like this is going on and you find out about it. Like,
Hmm.
and they was the one. Like, what do you do in that case? Like, what do we live in a world to where something like that could happen? And yeah, I know they made it cinematic and it's a movie and all that, but bro, that's real life. That's what they did to my man's, bro.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, it was crazy. And like I said before, like what tripped me out the most is how young he was.
Yeah.
Like he made that much of an impact, being that young, and they looked at him as that much of a threat.
Hmm.
He was only like 21, haven't even found his legs yet, but he was standing up for something, real powerful, and they thought he was trying to lead some revolution or something like that, something in a negative way. He
Right.
was just trying to bring people. He was just trying to bring people together and stuff, not just blacks, whites. It's just everybody.
Hmm.
He just wanted peace. And the cops they went with that. There's like he trying to start an army and all this stuff.
Yeah. The last thing they wanted was unity at that time, especially when they was still trying to work through the agenda. Um,
Yeah,
People talk about unity now, but there's still so much division, even within black people, bro. There's still so much
we got
division.
yeah we got a long ways to go.
Yeah.
We got a long ways to go, man.
Yeah. I think it ain't gotta be as long as if we just got our shit together because our minds are just polluted with this bullshit that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, bro. If we actually looked at where things were and what people were doing to us and not just be so, ah, man, see, I'm about to get caught up. It's not, I think if we wasn't so proud just to be black, period, and was actually doing something towards making that mean more than just, oh, we were really creative. We can make stuff. Like we're still so prideful in how much we can work. Like that's how much intertwined I think it is in us. And I think that there's a part of it that's true that I mean, yeah, we creative, we build everything that surrounds us, but I think that there's also a level of what can we do? I really want to find out what we can do with each other to bring that unity because that's what's really gonna fuck us up. Like they'll let us talk about how dope we are all day, all night. And that's why nobody got
Right.
killed yet. Bro, if it was about that, then Kanye would be gone. Cause Kanye always talking about how dope he is and whatever. If like if when people start becoming a problem is when they start promoting unity and they start actually doing something about it because Facebook posts and Twitter shits, whatever ain't gonna do nothing. When it's my man's was out, you remember in the movie he went over to the I think was it a Klan meeting or some sort of just white supremacy group. He walked
Yeah,
up
I
in that
remember that.
mud, yeah, and shit like that. I think is what is going to cause some problems. Things on that level, I should say, not necessarily that cut and paste, but I don't think any of that. So that leads me just to a question, man. Like, why do we, um, why have we limited Black history to what happened a long time ago? Like, why is nobody doing anything now?
I think they want us to only know so much. That's what I most likely think. They usually only in school they only focus on like the Martin Luther Kings and the Rosa Parks and all them and stuff like that, which is fine, but it's way deeper than that. It goes way far back to the slaveries and stuff like that, and we get misinformed, and it's a shame because we shouldn't have to learn more about our culture when we get out of school or whatnot later on in our lives. Then we should be learning all that stuff in school, but I think they only want you to know so much, not just with Black history, just history in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just I don't know why it's like that. It kind of makes it pointless to go to school
Oh yeah.
because like yeah,
So me and Nick actually had that discussion
yeah, I
on the
remember that. Yeah,
clubhouse.
that was dope. That was a dope episode. Huh?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Man, that man's is smart, bro. Nick is definitely a knowledgeable dude, bro. Uh, but what I was explaining to him was I did some research back when I was in college, and school was just pretty much for pretty much breeding Christians and breeding employees after a while. And the employee model has still kind of been going on for a while. And I'm not going to break all that down because I did all that in the other podcast, but there's still like there's aspects of all that's still going on. So that makes complete sense that they're not trying to tell us about um no history or nothing. They're not concerned about, so they want to propagate the information, but they don't care what we know outside of those walls. Once we take the test, it's a wrap. Like you ain't even gotta talk about it no more. But as long as they know, as long as it's in the books that they ain't explaining exactly what happened. I found out about this dude um on somebody's YouTube video this last week actually, because someone called Father Divine, who was I'm not gonna get into it. It's a super long video. But it was a lot of information about this dude who pretty much was unity. He was bringing up unity, and people don't even talk about him. And I ain't never heard his name before last week, and he had done so much stuff, bro. And not all of it was good, none of it was smart, but it was in a time that should have been discussed because I heard about other stuff going on around that time. So I know they had a pen and some paper or some way to transfer information, and we just don't hear about him. So it's him and a bunch of other people, I'm sure. Um, Fred Hampton and just a lot of other people, man. Just we just don't hear about nothing unless it's Christopher Columbus or some shit like that. And it's like,
That was nonsense.
yeah,
I learned that at school. Like, how you gonna discover some stuff people already live
right, right, exactly,
at? How ridiculous does that sound?
yeah. But hey,
The
bro,
same thing with
sorry, go ahead, bro.
I said the same thing with George Washington owning slaves and stuff like that. Guess where I
Mm.
found that out?
On YouTube.
From Dave Chappelle.
Bro.
That's where I
Yeah,
learned about that, bro. I
yeah,
shouldn't have to learn. I shouldn't have to learn it from a comedian. I
from
should
a
learn that junk
comedian,
in school, man.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. And but so my biggest thing is like, what do we do about it? Because I feel like there's so much of we know now, right? We're able, not only do we know, but now we're able to converse about this information, and we're able to spread it, and we're able to put it online and talk about people and all this other shit. So what my biggest thing I want to be, I think, man, we need new history, bro. We need new history, man. It's and I feel like there's part of me. I think that there's. I just think we need it. I think it's necessary. I think it's necessary to have new history, bro. Because sitting around, and I'm not, and trust me, God knows, I'm not sitting there trying to roast Martin Luther King. And even you were saying it goes back to slavery, bro. It goes back before that. Like before we even got over here, bro. There was a whole other. We was somewhere else for the longest time, and they say the Earth is as old as it was. Okay, so what does that mean for the people who were just sitting over there where they got picked off in Africa? It's like, it, it, so right now, I just think that what we keep regurgitating um, is important. I think, but we all heard the "We Have a Dream" speech. We all know about Harriet Tubman. Um, I think it's time for us to get in some trouble, man.
Yeah, yeah. You start. You got to start somewhere. It just
Right.
takes people, acknowledging it and wanting to actually do it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be. Yeah. I think what stops them is fear.
Yeah, people scared to, speak their minds on, a lot of things or go in detail on how they feel because they're scared of getting censored or, something happening to them. I understand, but sometimes you still gotta, bite that bullet, especially on
Literally.
something that especially on something you believe in.
Mhm.
And especially something that actually, change the world and make an impact.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad how much don't. It's sad how much don't happen, and we think that posting about it in and of itself is going to do something about it. But that's the equivalent of these corporations putting Black Lives Matter in their bio or something like that, or posting it when it was dope to post it, but they ain't got no black people working for them besides just like little employees that they're barely paying. Um, I think that
Yeah,
if
yeah, I agree.
yeah, so
I didn't agree with that, Black Lives Matter or anything, anyway. So
yeah, a lot. I
just thought
mean,
it was, uh,
go ahead, bro.
I just thought it was just something, to post on social media and stuff like that. I didn't really
Yeah,
think that. I don't think a lot of people took it, I guess, as serious. I just think people just wanted something to stand up for just for a little bit. But there's still, much more that we can do. Because
yeah.
I just think that it's a shame. That's the only time we, come together is when, it's brutality against us when we kill each other all the time for the most dumbest things. And
Hmm.
it shouldn't take to, a white cop or whatnot to, harm us for us to be actually come together. We should come together regardless, especially we know our history from back in the day. We should just be, coming together, you know, regardless. But
No, you right. You right, man. I had some similar thoughts too, man. I think that it goes back to like a unity to some extent. I think there's we got Yogi Doke, and it's the same thing that happened with in the movie that it did in real life. Of course, it was some people who came, I mean, and to me, I don't even know how to say this without saying it, but I blame a lot of the old rappers, um, Ice Cube, Ice T, or NWA on them. There's a lot of blame in that to me, man. I'm just being real. Like I feel like um there's a lot of responsibility they had with the influence of music, and things wasn't always like that with hip hop, bro. It was. I mean, you can go back and see rappers delight and shit. Like what you hear is not a test and rap it to the beat. They ain't got nothing to do with go out and kill, this person, that person, do somebody do something to you. And I want to kind of dive into the realisticness of how much um, we are at fault because I know that we always kind of want to shift blame, and we have a lot of reasons to. I don't think it started with hip hop. I think there was an actual agenda, like like y'all need to go out and say this and say that, woo woo. So I think it was kind of the same situation as Judas and the Black Messiah, but I still feel like, and that's why I blame what's dude name O'Neal or something. I blame him,
so,
just like I would blame him for what happened to Fred Hampton. I would blame a lot of rappers and a lot of influencers, which is what they were at the time, for what happened to the culture. Not it wasn't all their fault, but they definitely had a part to play that we don't talk about. So what do you feel? What do you feel about these people doing that, man?
I just think that, these days we're in a, copycat world. You know, there's a there's a lot of sheep and not enough chiefs.
Mm,
Yeah, so many people, we love to gravitate to whatever is, popping and stuff like that. And people are just kind of, scared to be their own individual and stuff like that. And even with people that have their, their own little platforms and stuff like that, some people still, fail to really, you know, try to inspire and stuff like that. They just, fall right into the agenda. And fortunately, that's something that's always been like that. And it's really not going to change, man.
yeah, yeah. I think so. I kind of feel I feel you on that all day. It does feel like it's hard to see change, man, because it's been going on for so long, and we are so capable of analyzing things and thinking a certain way. Yo, like people's minds is definitely underestimated even to themselves. But the problem is they think that when something's presented to them, that it can't be wrong. And anytime you bring it up in any other capacity, it comes across as some sort of conspiracy theory or you just hating or whatever, and or some shit like that. And it's like, really, if you look at the facts, like it's really logical right in front of you. Um, and people don't like. I don't know why. Why I don't know. The relationship people have with the truth is really kind of crazy to me because I feel like It's right there. All you gotta do is at least look, at least consider. That's what I'm saying. Like to me personally, I consider everything, bro. Like you can bring whatever to me. You can say, I don't know, whatever the fuck, and you come to me, and I will at least consider it. Like I'm not gonna be like, get the fuck out of my face. Like I'm gonna try to see where you coming from. I may not agree with it. It may not end with me being on your side about it, but I'm not gonna just instantly shut you down because you
Right.
came in with me with an alternate thought. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not smart. Like, and I think people are scared to think for themselves because they think that people are scared to think for themselves because they have in their minds that they're smart, but they know that they're stupid at the end of the day. There's a lot of people who don't have the courage and the confidence to rely on their own thoughts, although they probably would never come out and say without their mouth they're stupid. But it's more of a um I don't trust me, so come up with something for me to kind of hold on to. And I mean, but that could
Yeah,
be,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that can
yeah,
be
yeah,
like, that could be a lot of shit. Religion,
yeah.
politics, a lot of shit. Like I think a lot of people just need some or a desire to kind of latch on to something, or there's multiple reasons people want to belong, and all this other shit, bro. But I think there is a lack of just thinking for yourself. That's like
Yeah,
the root
yeah.
cause of so many things.
That's just the society we live in. People just afraid to, think for themselves, and as a result of that, they want to live vicariously through somebody else and think what they want to think, whether it's right or wrong. And that's just how it is.
It's crazy because it's like they want to lean towards support more than they want to lean toward truth. Like they rather be in a group of people who they know they're comfortable with than be the one person who thinks something different.
Right.
Like, bro, I've kind of lived that life when I was doing, back when I was done, I was acting stupid. I was doing stupid things for stupid reasons, and
Yeah,
there
we've
was
all
some.
done that.
Yeah, right, exactly. But some people don't leave that phase though, and
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Right.
Is we've all done it, but some people are still doing it because they haven't stopped, and that's the motherfuckers who I'm kind of talking about. If you could look back at life and realize, okay, this was dumb, or I did this because I thought this, but really I found out this, whatever. I'm with you on that, but I think that people take too long to get to that conclusion. So, and then they invest too much emotion on one side or the other. So now they don't want to switch, or they don't want to think about anything else, and it becomes this pride thing. Like, well, since I was a kid, my dad taught me this, or I've always done this, and woo woo, and then it
Right.
becomes a part of who they are. Then they teach their kids that, and that's why racism, I think, is still kind of going on to this day,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. Racism is, I think, is something that's taught. It's not, born. You're not
Right.
born racist. You're taught to be racist.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And I think that that's literally the perfect example because like what logical what logical mental reason do you have in your mind to think that you are more important than me? There's nothing that can prove that makes any sense whatsoever. But there's some people who would die before they accept black people into their lives, or vice versa, black people accepting white people. And it's like
Yep.
it becomes like, I don't even know how to word it, but besides it being like a personal trait, like it just intertwined with everything else. And that's when it becomes this it becomes too invested into for them to actually change. So
Yeah.
now, like what you were saying though, some people have though. Some people get to that place and realize, yo, like this is. I've talked to one particular. I shouldn't say some. I talked to one dude who used to be a skinhead. Um, Me and him had a pretty decent conversation, and he didn't really go into details as to what the turning point was, but there was definitely like he just wasn't like that. So there is a possibility for someone who to start out that way and then eventually realize that that's not how things are supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. He probably realized that it wasn't him, and he wasn't around them, them people that was pushing that, and he was able to actually change.
Yeah,
Sometimes if you're still, you're stuck in that toxic environment and getting, spearheaded all these, negative things and forced to think that way, then it's kind of hard to change.
Right.
But when you're actually able to kind of get away from that, you can actually see the error of your ways.
So what do you feel like your or do you feel like did you feel like there was a turning point in your life and you realized you was doing something and then you realized how it was stupid and then you stopped? Like what happened to you in particular that made you change your mind from anything you wasn't doing?
Shoot, for me, it was just you know, being a better father and stop being lazy and stuff. And I can't really remember any like turning point, but it was just, just waking up and be like, man, I need to, do more. Because if not, I'm gonna lose everything. I'm gonna lose my family. I'm gonna lose, a lot of things. And all I gotta do is just, grow up a little bit and do what I need to do. And sometimes it's hard to a lot of times it's hard to get out of, that, the error of your ways and stuff like that. You get so stuck, doing certain things and acting a certain way. But you start seeing people hurting and stuff like that, and then it's like, okay, I need to grow up a little bit. I need to change because I don't want to, make people upset and me be upset and stuff like that. So for me, it was more, fatherhood, and being a better father and husband that, made me change my ways because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. So I'm getting better now.
That's dope. That's dope, man. I feel like there's some wisdom in that because a lot of people want to hold on to who they used to be. They want to have kids and have a family or whatever. Well, they even sometimes, I mean, let's just be real. Like some people don't want to have kids, don't want to have a family, but they have a kid and now they're a family and they still want to
Yeah.
hold on to what they used to be. Not saying that's your story, but that's a lot of people I've known in the past. And there's a couple people in particular that come to mind as I'm even saying that was the shit in school. And then you see them now and they, you know what I'm saying? Like they had to make some adjustments and some people did not make the adjustments. And you can tell the difference between someone who got that and clicked to them and some people who ran into that and they was like, no, I'm holding on to who I used to be. Um, and it's scary because then you got you what you're doing is create a handicap for those kids. Um,
Yeah.
and that
Was there any turning point for you that you
m-
had?
my divorce was probably the biggest turn point.
Right.
So I got into a lot of shit. I got into pornography. I didn't get into. It was something that I had not addressed as what it
Right.
was. So then when you get to a certain point in a relationship, you have to understand that not everybody's going to come from where you come from and not everybody's going to understand where you began at. So they expect you to be whatever they want you to be when they are with you, especially after a certain amount of time. So what I didn't do it was connect what was expected of me as a husband and a father at the time with I don't even know how to I don't even know how to connect the two, but it was definitely a distance between where I was and where I should have been. And
Right.
when I tried to mature, and it wasn't on me. Like I'm not going to play it, but I'm not going to talk on the other side of it because that's not my story to tell. But from my perspective, what I should have done was wise up early on and realize, okay, I'm a husband. I'm pretty much do what you did, but earlier. And I think that what jammed me up was that I just took too long for it to click. But also there's layers into it. It's kind of complicated, but what turned me around was like I am losing everything. I am losing my kids. I am losing my my wife. And it became this like, okay, shit, I gotta get together. But by the time I got together, she was already just ready to be gone. So it was just too late for me. But it ended up being like a blessing. It was one of those situations where it seemed like it sounds horrible and it's like, oh man, I wish it worked out for you. But it ended up being a really good thing for me. I think I was kind of I was a disaster. I was like a car with no brakes, just going 100 miles per hour. I was gonna hit somebody.
Right.
Like if it wasn't who it was going to be somebody else. So And I hurt so many people just even going that way. Um, and people, thank God people don't even believe me when I talk to them about it because they claim that I don't seem like I would do that, or I don't seem like I was a bad person. But bro, I was an atrocious person. Like I did some very egregious stuff. And I think that I'm grateful that people don't recognize that in me no more, but that definitely took some work. Um, it took a lot of work for me to get to where I was to even where I'm at now. And a lot of scars, residual, a lot of residual damage.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? A lot of stress, a lot of stuff. And another big lesson is, man, is that even when you get your shit together, that doesn't mean that everything's gonna go back to how it's supposed to be. And I think
right.
that was a pretty big lesson too for me. And hopefully people hear this and gain that for themselves because I actually did change back when we was going through the separation, but it was too late at that point. So then it's like a person in jail who gets locked up for something and then realizes they fucked up after they behind bars. They not finna be like,
Right.
okay, since you got it, you can go home. Like you still gotta serve your sentence, right? So that's what I was in the middle of is I found out, but it just was I was already done. So I just found out I corrected myself way too late, man. And I think that there's a part of me who that regrets that, but also I realized that I think that if we had tried to make things work simply because we had a kid together, things would have just been worse down the line, bro. We just would have been miserable. Um, and it is what it is. I ain't upset. I forgive her. She forgive me. We were just talking yesterday. Like I think it ain't no. It's not how it used to be, or it's not how most couples even are uh, when it comes to splitting up and like there's this animosity and stuff like that. Like I'm not her biggest fan. Like we're not buddies.
Right.
This ain't a movie. There is a level of we were kids. She gets that. I get that. We were super young and ran into things a little bit quickly too. So that's kind of what made me turn around is just pretty much realizing that um I was I was losing everything. I was sinking and yeah, so
That's good. I was able to, patch things up because a lot of, especially during a divorce, because a lot of couples when they, go through divorces and usually divorces are nasty, especially for kids.
mhm.
Usually they usually hate each other after that. So I think it was good. It's good that y'all able to, hash it out and still be, cordial with each other because a lot of couples aren't.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. I think it was a lot. I'm gonna be real with you. A
That's a
lot of
salute to y'all for that one.
and I appreciate you, man, for real, for real. A lot of it was on child at the end of the day, and I want to give myself some props too because I don't do that much, but it definitely was a lot of perseverance on my end because there was an initial playing games. In the same young ass ignorance mind that we was in was the same ones we had trying to get through this. So everything wasn't perfect when we was trying to work it out, and or when I was trying to work it out, and there was a lot of playing games with visitation and a lot of trying to just what I'm saying like the typical like we're going to use
Yeah.
your kid as a weapon against you whatever. But what I didn't do was kind of back away from that, and I think a lot of parents have done that. They get tired of the stress of fighting the other person. And I just kind of dug my heels in. I was like, yo, like I'm going to die before you take my child and you just don't see me again. Like I'm not gonna just go off and start a new life and pretend I don't got no daughter and then try to show up when she's 20 something and be a dad all of a sudden. Like you that's not gonna be the story. Like I don't care what you gotta do to me. You can do whatever, you can tell the courts whatever. I don't care about people think what people think of me. um I'm being my child's life. And in the midst of that fight, and as we had to deal with each other every single week, it became this I have to deal with you. It came with you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't run away. I didn't put my head in the sand and try to pretend. I was like, this is my life. I got a child. I'm gonna be in my daughter's life. You can feel whatever you feel about it, but I'll be here on Saturday to pick her up. And it became that over and over and over. So then eventually
She
we
has to respect that. And she has to respect that the fact that you actually, willing to see your kid throughout, even the drama that y'all going through that.
Mhm.
you still want to do that. Because some fathers, they be like, you know what, I'm not dealing with you. I'll see the kid whenever. When it
Yeah,
was good at you, you weren't having that. So
right.
yeah,
And
she
I was,
gotta respect that.
bro, I was a kid who got done like that. Like literally, not even no exaggeration. It was just pretty much like I ain't told you the whole story, and it's like I try to be careful telling other people's stories. But I got done like that. I was the kid who just got left with that whole, you know what, fuck this, I'm not dealing with it. And bro, I'm still paying for it. Um, I don't think that I don't blame, I don't call faults, but I think that there's a reason why you have a certain hand. People like play the hands you was dealt, but it's not like there wasn't no influence in the cards you had. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some people who made some choices that gave me the cards I had to deal with. And people forget that part. People always try to pretend that don't exist. That's fucking cap. And I want people to hear that shit and really be like understanding of the fact that it's real. Like you do have to play your hand. Like you can't ignore or you can't blame or you can't make everything somebody else's fault because that means they have to be the ones who fix it. You have to make it your fault so you can do something about it. But the problem is that we get so caught up in trying to feel better about the situation. And at some point I had to be like, yo, like now I have to make these choices. This is the hand I was dealt. Although it's their fault, I have these cards. I can't sit here and cry about it. I gotta go do something about what I have in front of me. So that's what I did. And that's why I'm growing, I think, to this day, because I'm taking responsibility now. Instead of me waiting for them to change and they come to me, they can't fix my childhood. They can't fix the stuff they left behind. And I think we there's too many people on earth that I think want to control other people. Although we know that's stupid mentally, like just going back to what we were saying about how people think a certain way about certain things, like think they're a certain kind of person, but then they act a certain way that's completely different. I think we have an idea of what we want to be and what we actually are that just doesn't connect. Um, so we just have to. I think that's part of life, and we have to work on that. So I decided who I wanted to be, and my objective every day is to bring that together with what I'm actually doing in my life. Um, so yeah,
You could have easily, built another statistic based on, the card that you was dealt. So it's
mhm.
good that, we both could, we
Oh
both could have
yeah,
been another statistic. So,
right,
it's good that you realize that and was able to pull through because you can be on the other side, blaming other people for what, the problems that you have. And, sometimes you can't do that. You gotta be like, say self and be like, hey, you know, I can't control what they did. All I can do is control what is in front of me right now.
right, straight up. And I think that goes back to what I believe we started this with is the new history we need to make. I think that if I'm in a place to where I can't accept the things I've done wrong and grow from that, or I can't, or let me say it like this: if I'm at a place where I can't accept what people do to me, then there's no way in fucking life I'm going to be making any difference in this world. I think that we did. If I think that what she did was the worst, I'm done because this whole world is about to kind of come in and try to destroy what is being worked on when they hear the truth and they hear, the efforts and they, what I'm saying, when you see somebody actively trying to do something about what's going on, there's going to be attacked. So if I'm still at the mental place of never dealing with anything because I'm always running to try to feel better somewhere or running to try to blame somebody else, then I'm going to get ate alive and I'm going to just be another name everybody forgot about. So the goal is to actually make a difference, but I can't make a difference in with the world or nobody else's life or whatever if I'm sitting here trying to run and feel better, just feel, because not everything is about feeling better. Actually, some signs of you doing good is you feeling bad, and people forget about that.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, this is about the hour mark. So much you run, but I appreciate y'all tuning in. Let us know what y'all think. I'm put this man. I'm so bad at putting these on social media. I can't. I'm so bad at this, bro. I wish I could pay somebody. The first thing I'm gonna do when the junk take off is pay somebody to put this junk on. like the clips, whatever, bro. Like it's getting crazy. There's so
Yeah,
much,
that,
but
yeah.
I gotta work, man. I gotta do the work. I'm not complaining about it, but there's just so much. People think I'm just be out here chilling, but there's so much to do. But show what's going on. I'm grateful because at least I can do it. At least I got what it takes to do it. I'm not, whatever. So,
Yeah, it
um,
keeps you busy, man. Keeps you busy.
exactly, bro, and
You
that's
could be
life,
easily doing nothing.
right? Straight up, straight up. So I'll put this online. Y'all see it soon. I appreciate y'all rocking with us. Hopefully Castle is back next week. We will see. Bata, you got something to say to the people before you go?
Another one in the books, man. You got to keep it going.
Absolutely, absolutely. Consistency is key, bro. We'll
Oh
find
yeah,
that
we're
out
gonna
soon.
we'll be we'll be stay consistent even if it's just the two of us.
You're right. Yeah.
You
Amen.
know,
Amen. So yeah, catch me on everything. Catch me on Shermanville. I'm gonna be probably jump online again tonight. Actually, y'all say I'm saying this tonight, but it's not going until Friday. But catch me. How about this? Hit me up on Twitch and on Twitter so y'all know when I'm online, and then y'all see me coming up. Right now, we're going through War Week. I'm trying to put the footage up online. That sometimes I keep getting kicked out. We're playing Call of Duty, so I'm in, and I get kicked out, and woo. So you'll see a couple of chopped up little videos, but you've been through worse. So just listen to it, watch it, whatever you got to do. Tell your people that it's online because it's we trying to get me to I think it's affiliate. I gotta have like 50 followers. I think it's 50. Yeah,
yeah.
50 followers to get to affiliate. So we're building our way up to 100 by the end of the year. So rock with us, let us know what's up. If you guys any suggestions and anything like that, and we'll go from there. So I'll holler at y'all later. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch y'all whenever. Peace.
All right.